As we all know, finance is the lifeblood of a property business, and many banks, lenders and mortgage brokers are represented here at the National Landlord and Investment Show at Olympia, and I'm delighted to be joined by Joe from Vantage Finance. And Joe, you're quite a big supporter of the show, aren't you? Why do you keep coming back?
It's an interesting one. I think the main thing for us is the quality of people that attend. So there's a lot of very professional landlords as well as the first-time landlords just entering the market, but it's people that are really serious about it, and crucially for us, we want to work with people that are really serious about property and passionate about it. Recently I've seen that there's been a trend of developers as well, which has been great because development finance is a really growing part of the market and something that we do quite a lot of. So it's really good to engage with a range of people like that.
I want to talk about development finance in a minute actually, but
Sure.
just following on from what we were just saying is that the sector is changing and education is so important. How important do you think this event is, and events like it that can help landlords learn and grow?
Sure, I think you're absolutely right that education is the key, and actually a big part of what we do is try and educate our clients, brokers that maybe work with us with specialist finance, because specialist finance often has scared people off. There have been historically some very high rates, and it's stopped people investing maybe in the UK market or certainly developing property. That's changing. The specialist lending market, the specialist banks are constantly competing with each other to put out their attractive products and crucially accessible products for people to get on board with and enter the investment market. In terms of here, we've got the opportunity to not only talk to a load of landlords, but at the recent shows I've been delivering a seminar based on refurbishment finance and development finance, which I just find really important to educate people, and the feedback is always, I didn't know that. And we're not sort of reinventing the wheel, there's nothing new here. We're just spreading the word, and I think this is a great platform to be able to do that.
Indeed, and tell us a little bit about Vantage, how long you've been going,
Sure.
the service that you offer landlords and property investors and developers.
Of course, yeah, so we've been around for 14 years. We're directly authorised with the FCA, have been for 12 years. We're a master broker, so actually a lot of our business comes from other brokers that aren't able to place business. So we deal with really specialist stuff: commercial finance, development, bridging finance, complex buy-to-let. It's a huge market at the moment, whether that's HMOs, limited company, expats or foreign nationals, adverse credit even. And then we do residential first and second charge as well. And I think the thing that I always like to say actually is we're not unique. The broker model is fairly set, and I think anybody that is claiming to reinvent the wheel is probably selling porkies. But the only thing you can do is really focus on the rigour in which you deliver that service. And I'm lucky enough to sort of represent a team in the back office who are doing this day in, day out, who just deliver a superb service based on strong communication and sort of expertise that's been built up over the last 14 years. We're really passionate in coming back to people quickly, and fundamentally we're a little different in that we don't charge any fees up front. So we won't take a penny from a client until the loan is released, until completion. And yes, we attract a lot of tats for that reason, but actually we're happy to have a speculative conversation with somebody about their financing needs or their sort of investment plans, with the hope that actually building a long-term partnership will help everybody to thrive. And we only succeed when the market succeeds, and whatever we can do to help that, then obviously we want to.
I know, because projects are so unique in their own right, and also the borrower is unique in their own right.
Yeah.
And we all know the Little Britain joke, the computer says no. But there's a lot more specialist underwriting happening now. People can go and present a business plan. They can show their track record.
Absolutely.
And the lenders are open to looking at individual projects, aren't they?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, one of the things that we say, and I say in the seminar, really important when people bring a case to us, is bring your CV, if you like, and we don't care where you've worked. It's about your experience in property, because the more experience you've got, even the littlest things, refurbishing your own home, redecorating, moving a kitchen around, it all starts to give a lender confidence that you might know what you're doing. And fundamentally, all lenders, all property products, all they ever care about is risk. And any way to sort of avert the risk or suddenly lower the risk seemingly to a lender will give you, a far wider range of options. So yeah, really, really, really important, that experience piece.
I just want to move on what we were talking about earlier about development. We were just talking to Gavin at Shawbrook Bank.
Yeah, we know Gavin well.
Yes, and he was saying off camera that there's a huge interest in build to rent. In other words, to build, to buy build out, but then hold for the long term.
Yeah.
Is that a trend that you're seeing?
Yeah, very much so. What we're seeing really is that actually people who originally were sort of what I would call a standard landlord, and I mean that in a nice way, I own 2 or 3 properties and I've got a passive income. With tax regulation changes, with other sort of barriers put into place, they want to know how do we get more money from our investment. And actually what they're starting to do is to consider the light refurb, buying distressed properties or properties under market value, do some work, get it to a habitable space and remortgaged for the long term. The people who've already been doing that are now looking at heavier refurbishments, office blocks to residential potentially, or a change in use from a single dwelling to a HMO. And it's the people who then have been doing these heavier projects, heavier refurbishments, are now considering a ground-up build and moving into the development market. So everybody seems to sort of be trying to elevate themselves, what I would say, one step. And that's great, that's fantastic, because it means the space is becoming more professional. I think we're seeing less accidental landlords at the moment, and long term it is leading to more people ambitiously developing and building, and wherever we can support that, we're really enjoying getting stuck into it.
And I think it kind of pushes innovation as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. People are coming up with all sorts of different ideas about. I've had people today talking about show homes and actually how can they take on a number of show homes and lease out short term. Holiday lets are coming up. The Airbnb revolutionised holiday letting, and actually how do lenders finance people that want to let them out on that basis? Service departments, all of this sort of need. Investment from abroad has changed the way that landlords are looking at the UK as well. And lenders have to respond. They have to have a product that matches the need of the people, and we're lucky enough to have those relationships. And I think you're right with the computer that says no sort of phase. What I'd recommend to anybody in this field, speak to a broker, a specialised broker, whether it's us or not, I hope so, but somebody that can pick up the phone above that first level of underwriting and say, there's common sense behind this deal, and what can we do? What can we do together to get this across the line? Because, lending needs to be happening if the market wants to thrive, and the lenders want to. You just need to know where to go to, I guess.
Well, I have to say, I've really enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, thanks.
So thank you very much for sharing those insights, and been great to have you here at the show as well. Thank you very much for supporting the National Landlord and Investment Show as well, and I'm sure we'll see you somewhere down the property trail.
You will. You'll see us in Manchester, and you'll see us back here in November as well. Yeah, we are very committed to the Landlord Show.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for being part of the interview. Thank you.